Keep watching Blyztv with Baba Africa.
Keep watching Blyztv.
Keep watching Pieceofafrica with Baba Africa.
He's very good trying to portray Africa and Africans in the diaspora.
That is, you've been in Europe for, I think, over how many years now?
About 41 years.
41 years, did you hear that?
In my country, Ghana, agriculture or farming is considered for
Poor people.
Dropouts. If you come to Europe, farmers are probably the richest people. Or you go to the States.
My program Pieceofafrica, we are trying to exhibit the positive side of Africa and those wonderful things in Africa that people outside Africa are not aware of. So I'm very interested in that part. And you brought my mind to one thing. Africa has got the right soil, the right weather throughout the year. That is 12 months in a year. Europe has got, I think, just 3 months to grow food, and yet they have enough food to feed the population and even export down to Africans, where we rather have the whole year, that's the 12 months, to grow food to even feed the entire world. Hello viewers, you welcome to Pieceofafrica with Baba Africa, and you are on Blyztv. So today I have one of the most revered and astute professors we have here in the Czech Republic. It's actually an honor for me today to have a seat with this wonderful man. I'm actually going to ask him a few questions. You know, he has been in Europe for so many years, and we see him to be our father, and if we need any advice, he's the one we come to. I would want to ask him a few questions about when they came to Europe, how it was and how it is now. You are welcome, Professor Darkwah.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So Prof, can you tell me how Europe was when you people came to Europe in the 80s or in the 90s?
Yes, I came to the Czech Republic in 1981.
Wow.
It's been a long time. It was totally different than we see today. Because at that time, you know, it was the communist era. It was just a planned economy. So everything seemed to be the same. The first time I arrived at the Prague airport, you know, I was so confused. And later we got used to the system. But we had to be very, very careful whatever we said at that time, because it was so, there were so many police around and we didn't know them. So you couldn't speak against the system. But I cannot also condemn that the system was so bad. There were good things. We enjoyed the life at that time, because wherever you go, you have to adapt yourself to the system and then live with the system.
That's true. So Prof, which school do you lecture and which program are you lecturing in?
I'm lecturing at Mendel University in Brno, and at the same time at Masaryk University, also in Brno. But I schooled in Mendel, and then when I came back from the UK, one of my mates, who was the vice dean at that time, invited me to come to teach. I started teaching. I've taught so many subjects at Mendel. I started with financial management because I did the economics and management. So I started with financial management. Eventually I was asked to teach EU policy on agriculture and the environment. After that I was given entrepreneurship. So I was teaching entrepreneurship. From there I moved to the economic geography of Africa, Latin America and Asia, Southeast Asia. I also taught project management. I've taught some few courses before, but eventually we decided to teach the development of Africa. That's the territorial studies. That is Africa, Latin America, and Southeast Asia.
I'm actually very interested in that, because as my program Pieceofafrica, we are trying to exhibit the positive side of Africa and those wonderful things in Africa that people outside Africa are not aware of. So I'm very interested in that part.
Right. So when we came with that idea to teach these 3 regions, because I'm from Africa, I was given Africa to teach. And For about 10 or so years, I've been teaching this Africa. Objective is to understand or to let the students understand why Africa cannot develop up to today. Africa has got so many resources. Very, very rich continent.
Did you hear that? Why Africa cannot develop?
Yes.
Yet we have all the natural resources.
Yes. So I always say we have all the things we need, but we have nothing. We don't have anything. Because if you look at our development, we should have rather developed more than any other continent. And today, all the other continents should have been working for us in Africa. But it's very unfortunate. Africa is the poorest continent on earth today.
That's very sad, actually. I mean, to know that you have a continent that has all the natural resources in the world, yet we it's like even in penury in the midst of plenty. It's actually very painful.
So I mean, you look at the situation, you ask a student, European student, what is wrong with Africa, or what are some of the problems? The student will tell you they are hungry, they are poor, and there are so many diseases in Africa. And I always say it goes beyond that, because there are so many things that we are not getting right. Then the student say there's corruption in Africa. I mean, there's no democracy in Africa. And I tell them, all the countries declare that they are democratic. They always have fair and transparent elections, that they are democratic. But at the end of the day, you guys think we are not democratic. And then when the president wins the election, nobody knows whether it was rigged or not, but we are democratic and internationally. But the people in the country knows that we are not democratic, because they know elections were rigged, opposition people are suppressed, they are put into prison arbitrarily. So people are persecuted, in Africa. And because of that, you can see today the young people are running away from Africa to find greener pastures outside Africa. The people that we have trained also leave the continent, and they come to do whatever job they can do in Europe. But if you look at the situation, if we were to allocate all the resources that we have in Africa fairly, to make sure that it goes to every person, to make sure that we all sacrifice and work very hard, Africa will develop. But the situation is, everybody wants to be celebrated. Everybody wants to be important. So you go to your village, you are the only rich person in that village, you are the only person who has been educated, and people will be following you. People take undue advantage of that. I, in particular, think about Africa, that we all have to sacrifice to make sure that anything that we're doing, we do with all our might, because productivity in Africa is so low. People do not want to work, but they want money to spend. They don't want to work, they want money to spend.
Everybody wants to live a lavish life, but they don't want to work.
Exactly. Right? I mean, so you can see people having mansions, but the person does not feel safe in that continent or in that country, because he's afraid of armed robbers who will come to attack the person. So you see that when they build a house, you don't see the beauty of the house. They've made walls around it. And I always call it prison, because whenever you enter, you close the gates and nobody knows what is happening.
Yeah, sometimes I also, I'm very happy you made mention of this, because in Africa, we have most of the beautiful houses, with high fence and walls, and I wonder how would people see the beauty of this house with all these high walls and all that, because they are scared. I mean, Prof has made a revelation here.
And then you see people have got 4 or 5 cars parked in the house, right? People have got 2 swimming pools in the house. Most of the time they don't know even how to swim. It's there just to show off, just to show people they are rich. But that's not what we want. Because if everybody gets something at least something. Then when you sleep peacefully because nobody will come to attack you.
That's true.
And you don't have to build a fence that can build 2 bedroom house for somebody to stay.
That is very true.
So we have to stop that selfishness, because I always say, unless we stop that selfishness, enviness, and make sure that wealth is distributed equally amongst the people, then Africa will start to develop.
So, Prof, as we young people coming up, what advice do you have for us? We are now coming up, and we are seeing all these rots and corruption, and people trying to people only think about themselves and their family. They don't think about the future generation. What do you think we the youth, we the young ones coming up should emulate? Or because we are also in Europe, we are seeing what is happening in Europe. Even if things are not good, the old ones are thinking about the future, so they try to make sacrifice for the young ones coming. What do you think we the young ones coming up should learn from the failures of the old in Africa?
I always say education is key to development. One, if Africa had more educated people, I think some of the things will stop, because they will put especially the politicians on their toes. Some of the things, the dealings that they are doing, which will not bring any benefits to the country but to themselves, educated people will know about that. Because you can read the newspapers, you can watch television and so on, and see what is really happening. So my idea is we have to educate more people in Africa, because illiteracy, honestly speaking, makes the people like Roman mob, where the wind blows, they just go there. Africa is like living today and there's no tomorrow. If there is election, people go, give money to the people, they buy the vote, people collect money. But because the people are not educated, they do not realize that they will spend the money today, but what about tomorrow? Because the politician is coming to power for the next 4 years. We've got something to spend today. What about tomorrow? What about the future? So all these things will happen when we become educated, and that will bring the awareness. I, sitting down here, know that illegal mining is a very, very evil thing in our society, because we're destroying the environment for the future generation. If you come to Europe, they're trying to save the forest, they're trying to make sure that people do not encroach and so many things. But we've taken that upon ourselves, and we see that people doing illegal mining, about 80 to 90% of the people are illiterate. Got one literate person who is employing them to do for her own selfish benefit. But the people doing it do not know that they are destroying the future for the next generation. So pathetic, right? If we destroy all the forests that we have, and there are no agricultural lands to produce food for the future generation, what are we going to do? How do we think about these people? And you realize the reason why I brought in education is educated people, especially here in Europe, seems to have less children. When we're talking about stepping up food production, the population at the same time is going up. And if you think about Marty's theory of population, where population grows at a geometric rate, food production at arithmetic rate, so population will always grow 2 times more or more than the food production, and it is still in Africa. If you come to Europe here today, you realize that the population is going down. Some of the countries are in the negative, and food is in abundance. So the theory does not hold. But you go to Africa, where we have more people, but there's no food to feed the people.
And you brought my mind to one thing. Africa has got the right soil, the right weather throughout the year. That is 12 months in a year. Europe has got, I think, just 3 months to grow food, and yet they have enough food to feed the population and even export down to Africans, where we rather have the whole year, that's the 12 months, to grow food to even feed the entire world. So sometimes it's very saddening when you look at some of these things. We have the best of weather, the best of soil to grow anything we want to grow. You don't even have to cultivate it in a professional way or in any way. You just throw them on the soil, you will come back and they are germinating. Unlike Europe here, why do you think we have this problem? Because I just don't understand where we have all these resources to ourselves yet cannot make use of it.
Right. If we go back to agriculture, because initially I did agric economics, agriculture is always my heart, and I think about what you are saying every day. The problem is, in my country, Ghana, agriculture or farming is considered for
Poor people.
dropouts. If you come to Europe, farmers are probably the richest people or you go to the States. Unless we change the mindset of the people and teach agriculture as a business. You don't have to teach agriculture as a punishment, because those days when you go to school and you do something, they will tell you to go and read.
So Prof is basically telling you that in Africa, agriculture is for punishment, it's for poor people, whilst in Europe and in the America, it's for the rich.
Exactly.
That is the mindset he's talking about.
That's the mindset. Because unless we decide, I always think about one politician, Kennedy Japan, who says when he's traveling from Techima in Ghana to the north and see the vast land areas that we have. I think Ghana, I'm not sure, but we have used only about 13% of our arable land for farming. We have a lot of land, but we have to change from that small scale agriculture or farming to large scale, where we can grow and use modern technology. And that will produce a lot of food to feed the people. Food is the politics of today. If food is cheap and people are able to access food, then we can even process some of the food, the raw materials that we have in the factories, processing food, and that can employ so many people. So most of the people will leave agriculture, because when agriculture is well developed, that means using modern technology. You don't need too many people to work on the farms. If you come to the European Union, it's about 4 to 5% of the working population that's engaged in agriculture.
That is mechanized farming, I guess.
You mentioned that they can feed the whole Europe and the whole world. They can do that. But Ghana, we are still doing that small scale agriculture that is to feed the household, and if you have any extra, you just sell. And when you sell, people do not buy, because we all harvest at the same time. Everybody has got maize at the same time. Everybody has got cocoyam or yam at the same time. See the chima. When the yams come, you go to the yams market, you can buy plenty. But my argument is we have to start processing. We have to do a lot of research into how we can process this food and then store and keep them, so that when we do not have, and when it's not the harvesting season, we still have yams, we still have cocoa yams, we still have plantain, we still have all the staple foods that we eat available without price changes. So people will have food throughout the whole year, and this is what we need to do.
Okay, thank you, Prof. So this time I'm going to delve a little bit into your personal life. That is, you've been in Europe for, I think, over how many years now?
About 41 years.
41 years, did you hear that? I mean, he's been in Europe for 41 years. So, Prof, I would like to ask, do you have kids? Do you have wives here? I mean, how many kids do you have? Your wife? I mean, I'd like to know about that.
I have a Czech wife. We have 3 children. My first child was born in 1986.
1986. That is way back.
Yes, when I finished school, I went to Ghana. I was trying if we could settle. So I went with my wife to Ghana for a short time. It didn't work, so we came back to Europe. Then I had my second child, also a boy. And then my daughter probably she's at home. So I have 3 kids. The last one, my girl, was born in 1991. So I'm sure she's also about 31 years old. And I have 4 grandchildren.
Wow. Doc completed school on the 18th and had his first child on the 19th. I mean, it's mind blowing. It's actually nice. And Prof has a very beautiful place here. I mean, it's one of the most serene places I've ever been here in Czech. Actually, the place looks very nice with a green environment. I mean, I'm inspired to one day have something like this. It's an inspiration to see what you've been able to, achieve here. And as young people, you are the people we are also emulating, walking in your steps to also one day, become what you've become or even more. I'm actually excited coming here to see all these beautiful things you've been able to achieve, Prof.
What I would say is, you don't have to rush in this life. When I go to Ghana these days, what I say is, the young people want to be rich today. It doesn't matter how they will become rich. We have that old saying, it says, Rome was not built in a day. So I believe I did this gradually. It took me more than 10 years to build this place, and I'm still building it because every day I have new ideas, and then I decide to develop something. So what I would tell people is, or the young people, do not rush in this life. Whatever you were given to come to do in this world, one day you will achieve that aim. Or what I think is, just think about what you want to achieve in this world, and then with your own effort and determination, you'll be able to achieve it.
Young people, you heard that Prof said, do not rush. Patience is a virtue. It's not everyone who has that kind of ability to wait. People are rushing, they want to make it without even working for it. But he's saying it took him so many years to build this very place. He's been in Europe for over 41 years. So you just started and you just want to be there. It doesn't happen like that. It takes the grace of God and your own efforts. You have to keep pushing. So he's saying, do not rush in life. Be patient. Just move with the flow. Move. Just go. Be patient and know that one day you can also achieve what he's been able to achieve.
Honestly speaking, because when I came here, the place was totally different, and that was in 1985. Totally different, like you see today. So I always tell people, in Twi, say, you can achieve whatever you want to achieve, provided you are determined, you are resolved to achieve that aim. But you don't have to rush. If you are climbing the steps, you cannot just jump. Go step by step. You can't jump it, And that is what I have done. Some of the things I achieved even very late in my life, but I still think that, God has helped me to achieve those aims. Be nice to people, be honest to people. I always tell my students, the best tool is to be honest and truthful. Be truthful. Truth is just once, and whatever you say will always be the same. If you lie to people that you want to achieve certain things, one day, your own lies will follow you, and then you'll be exposed.
Understand?
Because if you achieve things in a very, very dubious way, it also goes like exactly. See, right.
It's actually a tree proverb. It's spoken by an ethnic group in Ghana, and it's one of the biggest, ethnic groups in West Africa. This is actually an Akan proverb.
Yes. So I've been very modest in my life. I do not think that this one has got that one or this one has got that one. Because of that, I also want to be the same. No. When the time comes and I achieve it, that's fine. If I do not achieve it, that's also fine. It's life. You see, the fingers are not the same. You can see the length of each of these fingers. So we were not born the same. Some people were born on a silver plaque. Some people were born with a special life or whatever. Others not. Others were born in the home. You have to get up before you see light. So I always tell people, please do not rush. But you have to have an aim, what you want to achieve in this world. And if you have that one, you will always, and with determination, you always achieve that aim. I was born in a very poor family. My parents were illiterate. They never went to school. So whenever I was going to school and I looked back at what my parents were doing as farmers, going to the farm every day, and me helping them over weekends, I realized that then one has to study and probably change that course, probably break that poverty in that family. Because honestly speaking, if you are not very careful, the poverty cycle will continue to. One has to break it and then help the others. Me sitting down here, I've helped my brothers, children, and so on, my nieces and nephews, to also do something to make sure that the poverty in the long future or to the future will be eradicated from my family. So that is me.
So viewers, if there is one thing I learned from Professor today, it's about be truthful, be patient, be diligent, and just keep moving. So it's all about teaching us today. I'm actually happy I was able to have an interaction with an honorable man of his such today. It's actually a privilege and an honor to be sitting with him today, and I believe he's also inspired you in one way or the other.
Yeah.
So what's your name?
My name is Nicola.
So Nicola, can you describe your dad? Just one sentence.
One sentence. I would say hard worker, very strict in his life, and always knows what he wants and tries to help everyone in his, I would say, area of the world and helping Africa. No. I've been to Africa, not really in Ghana, but we wanted to travel, but the COVID came, so we didn't really have much time to travel. But normally, if I travel, I use the plane and just buy tickets and then decide when I get there where to be.
When do you have plans of traveling?
I hope this year, or to be honest, on January, February next year. That's I think the best time to travel to Ghana. So hope nothing will come to our place and we'll be able to travel with my husband.
Do you have other siblings?
Yeah, I have another two brothers, and they've both been in Ghana already, and they would like to travel again, but they have families and small babies, so they will see when they will be able to go again.
Also, are you the second born or you're the last born?
I'm the last born.
Oh,
I'm the youngest one. Yeah, I'm the baby sibling.